If there's one thing that's true about red flags, it's that ignoring them early will usually cost you later. Ms. Williams says she learned that lesson the hard way during her relationship with Mr. Davis, whose cheating, emotional distance, and refusal to introduce her to his family have her feeling like she's just blowing in the wind. Can this relationship get back on track? Or will this couple have to wave that white flag of surrender? Let's hear their case.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding. Your Honor, this is the case of Williams versus Davis.
Thank you very much. Ms. Williams, you're here today because your fiancé of 2 years is an emotionally unavailable liar and cheater, according to you. You say that Mr. Davis isn't putting the same amount of energy that you are to take your relationship to the next level.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Davis, you say your fiancé doesn't trust you and it's holding your relationship back. You say Ms. Williams is a mini investigator who is constantly looking for something to complain about. And if things don't get better for you, you'll have to reconsider whether or not you want to marry her at all.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so this seems like a major conflict in terms of status in your relationship. Why are we here, Ms. Williams?
First, this is my heart. Like, I love him to death. But it just seems like lately, we just can't see eye to eye. Like, I had no communication. I can't trust him as far as I can throw him. Lies, betrayal, the list goes on. Like, we can't get on the same page for anything. And if nothing works out, I don't know if I can continue doing this. And I just hope maybe you can fix it or try to fix it.
You guys have been together for 6 years.
Yes, ma'am.
Engaged for 2 years. So I'm gonna ask Mr. Davis, why do you think we're here, sir?
Well, Your Honor, I want to say I love Ashley.
I like that you all both started out saying that there is love there.
There is love, but I'm tired of the accusations, and I can't go to work without being accused of being with some other woman. I can't go to the store without being accused of meeting some woman there.
Does she have reason to be concerned? Have you cheated on her?
In the past, yes, Your Honor.
And how far in the past are we talking?
Before we were engaged.
Miss Williams, you shaking your head with a laugh and a giggle, but that doesn't seem like a happy laugh and giggle.
Because that's not true, Your Honor. It's been infidelity since then. He just doesn't want to admit it. Like, I've experienced so many red flags with Mr. Davis.
Okay, tell me about these red flags.
About a month into us being together, he was communicating with his ex. I found out because she ended up hitting me up on social media because I posted a picture of me and Josh. And she replies to the picture and she's like, oh, so you're dating Josh? I'm like, yes, ma'am, I am. She said, well, I find that funny because I'm with Josh. And the last time I checked, Josh, you told me you weren't seeing anyone.
So his ex told you that they were still in a relationship?
About a month and a half into us being
together.
That wasn't true.
But she reached out.
She reached
to
out.
Miss Williams.
Ex is better.
You the one that picked her, okay?
Red flags.
Red flags. Go ahead, Miss Williams.
Red flags. And so I asked him about it. He told me the same thing. He said, no, I'm not with her. But it came out that he was still dealing with her.
Give me red flag number 2.
Red flag number 2. I have a friend who worked with him. She would tell me about how he would be very flirtatious with a young lady that they worked with. I said, okay, well, record it and send it to me. She records it and sends it to me. And then I wait for Mr. Davis to come home. And I ask him, oh, that's just a coworker. I said, oh, okay. I said, this is what we're doing with coworkers. He said, nonchalant, very nonchalant. He doesn't care. He leaves. I'm like, okay. So I called the young lady. I'm like, hey, do you know Mr. Davis?
You know she ain't playing with you, right?
I don't.
She ain't playing with you, okay?
But listen, we weren't together at the time. We had separated for a year. And she still had people out here
checking on you?
Spying on me. I mean, everywhere I went.
So according to you, y'all had broken up?
Yes. We were separated for a year.
And how do you break up with somebody when you live in the same house, sleep in the same bed?
Were you living in the same house at this time?
Yes, we were.
Were you sleeping in the same bed?
We were.
Okay, so that goes back to my question of, if I ask one person, are you separated? I need to start asking the follow-up is, if I asked your person that you're supposed to be with, were you separated, what would the answer be?
It would be yes, because I was telling her that we were separated.
But wait,
Anytime
but you
she
were still
confronted
sleeping
me-
in her house.
No, she was sleeping in my house.
Who pays the bills?
I do.
But this is another issue we have. The gender roles. It's always, I never get credit for anything. He's the great provider, but he thinks he takes care of everything by himself. Like I do nothing. I take care of the house. I don't work, and that's another problem. I don't work because he doesn't want me to work.
Miss Williams, for real, it's gonna be sister to sister.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have your own.
I've started
Okay,
realizing
I'm
that.
sorry, and I see the other sisters in the audience, they are clapping. Sisters, raise your hand, you agree with me? You need to have your own, okay?
And she can
You
have her
cannot,
own.
I don't need no amen corner. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot expect somebody to be financially responsible for you, and then you get to say what you want, do what you want. When you have your own, you get to stand in your own space.
Yes, ma'am.
Then you say what you want, do what you want. And if stuff's not working right, then you can get your own stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't let somebody control what your destiny is. Oh, no. And yes, you can be a wonderful provider, Mr. Davis, but you don't get credit for stuff you're supposed to do. I can't stand when folk want to do that.
Yes.
You don't get kudos for doing what you're supposed to do. Yes, she's supposed to be grateful that you're a good provider, but you're not supposed to stop her from growing in her own space. And you are not supposed to let somebody stop your growth.
Yes, ma'am.
And Your Honor, I'm not trying to stop her from working. I just gave her the option. If she wants to work, she can. If she doesn't want
no.
to, she doesn't have to. We just need to get on the right page.
Your
Okay,
Honor.
y'all, I'm trying to figure this one out. Y'all are gonna have to help me. My husband is a judge. I'm a judge. I do philanthropy. I'm on a plane constantly. But guess what? I make my son's volleyball games. We get the house cleaned together. My husband makes sure the trash is taken out, he and my son. You know what that's called? Family.
Yeah.
We help each other out all the time.
Definitely.
And you know what else? Nobody ever throws in the other person's face.
In
Well,
they
you
face,
know I
no.
took the trash out.
No.
Well, you know I washed the dishes. Robert, how you and Chris do it? The same way?
The same way.
I get another inbox on social media, and she's
Another
like,
ex?
Another ex, Your Honor. And she sends me a picture of Mr. Davis doing a tattoo with her boob in his head.
I had on gloves.
Everything is a joke to him.
I need to hear your side.
Yes.
Because I have heard what Miss Williams is saying, but right now, this is sounding real sketchy on you.
You know, I can't do anything without being accused of something.
Well, you know, you
go out
can't,
and
be,
make-
you
always
can't be
something.
seeing the coworker when you quote on break that ain't really on break.
We was on break, Your Honor.
We weren't on break, just
I
like
kept
we
telling
weren't
her
on break
we were
last
separated.
But Mr. Davis, y'all were on break, but were you still hitting it when you want to?
No. Not when I wanted to.
month. Ooh-wee. You a mess. You're a mess. Another red flag, Your Honor, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Was about 3 months ago. We got into an altercation. We went to
Continue.
sleep not talking to each other. And then I wake up the next day, and he's not there. I'm calling Josh. Hey, leaving him voicemails, text messages. He's not answering, not replying to my text. I get another inbox on social media of a familiar face from someone we both know that he's dealt with in his past. And she's
Another
like,
ex?
Another ex, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am. And she sends me a picture of Mr. Davis doing a tattoo with her boob in his head. And so I wait for him to come home.
I had on gloves.
See, that's everything is a joke to him. Everything is a joke
not
to
a
him.
joke. It was
Anyways,
being
Hey,
professional.
Mr. Davis said I had my PPE together. What
That's
more
what
do you
I'm
want?
saying.
it's not even funny.
I was
I
being
asked him about
professional.
it, and he blew it off. And I'm like, this is
'Cause I was
it'll
out
be
making
different.
money.
No, he told me it was business.
Exactly.
But it's different. It's
Is
not
he a
about
tattoo
business.
artist?
Yes, I am.
He's here and there, Your Honor. It's not something consistent.
Is there a tattoo parlor that one goes to where they have antiseptic and clean utensils and needles and stuff that has been
Yes.
inspected by the health department? Do he work there?
No, ma'am.
Bless your heart.
And it'll be different if it was just somebody else. It came down to, we both know this young lady. We both know the past that they had, and sometimes continue to have, Your Honor. So for him to say that it's business was something that was just disrespectful, and that caused us to go downhill even farther, Your Honor.
I'm gonna tell you something on the real. When someone tells you who they are, you need to believe them the first time. Guess what? Sometimes you even can believe them the second time. But from what I've been hearing since you stood up here, you've had more than 2 times.
Multiple.
That your man has told you who he is. Is there anything else you want to add?
He's just so emotionally unavailable. And like I spoke about earlier, I'm a very emotional person. You know, I deal with anxiety, PTSD, severe depression, and stuff like that.
Does this have to do with the trauma?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
What happened, Ms. Williams?
I had a house fire, and I lost both of my sons.
Oh,
and then
my
in 2019, I lost my mother.
A loss is traumatic in and of itself.
Definitely.
And no mother should have to bear their child, ever. And you and I both lost our mother. You take your time. If you'd like your case to be heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Missed a show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms and follow us on social media for exclusive content.
I'm not really mentally well up there, but I still maintain because I still have 2 children to raise.
But I want you to understand, you don't ever need to justify that.
Yeah.
A loss
Yeah.
is traumatic in and of itself.
Definitely.
And no person, no mother should have to bear their child, ever. I cannot imagine anything worse, and if the Lord continues to bless me, I will not know that pain. And you and I both lost our mother. You take your time.
It's just like sometimes I deal with so much emotionally, and you know, I come to him and I say, like, I'm having a bad day. And recently a death anniversary came up, and I was really distant with everybody. And
that's understandable.
Yeah. But I said something to him the next day, and I'm like, you didn't even say nothing to me yesterday at all. And he told me I didn't feel like I had to. Sometimes a hug would just change everything. I don't always need him to say something to me. Just hug me sometimes.
Just
because
like he
sometimes
did.
that's all I need.
But just like he did.
Yeah.
But Ms. Williams, I don't want to in any way suggest that your grief is not your grief.
Yeah, I just don't want her thinking about bad times.
That may not be something that you can help.
Yeah.
But I understand that it takes time.
Yeah.
Regardless of what happens with you and Mr. Davis, you have to take care of yourself, and there are people that you can talk to. I'd like to make someone available so that you can actually speak to a real grief counselor, because it's gonna take a minute.
Yeah.
You may have jumped into the relationship with Mr. Davis as a way of finding comfort after so much loss.
That's definitely crossed my mind before.
Everybody needs to find a place where they can just curl up and feel safe and secure.
Within the last maybe 3 years, I've had how many? Like 2 to 3 miscarriages with this young man. So the emotion is just too much sometimes. And I feel like sometimes he might hold that against me or like resent me because of stuff like that. I don't know.
And
But
that's more assumptions.
Mrs. Davis, I don't think that you've been completely honest here on some of the incidents that have happened in the past. And lying to me is like a cardinal sin, because I can handle anything that you tell me. I may not like it. It may hurt my feelings. It may take me some time to get over it, and I might not ever get over it. But I can guarantee you, if you lie to me, I'm not gonna get over it. So when you're in a relationship with someone, they deserve your honesty.
See, And that's what I've been giving her. But it's still
The two incidents
accusations.
that we have talked about in terms of the exes and their behavior and shenanigans, that does not make a woman feel secure. I'm sure you can understand that.
Yeah, I understand.
So my first piece of advice to you is you need to pick wisely. If you are picking people to be a part of your life who find it their mission to try to throw grenades in yours, that should tell you something about your choices. So you need to check them with a quickness, for real.
You dealing with some too.
I never said I was perfect.
It's very clear to me, y'all don't speak the same love language.
At all.
Miss Williams, you need words of affirmation. You need physical touch.
Yes, ma'am.
And she gets that.
I'm not sure what your love language is, Mr. Davis. I don't know what it is that makes you happy.
I don't believe
Just
he has
a
one.
good home-cooked meal like she used to.
So that acts of service would be something that would make you happy.
Kinda.
It's hard for me to do stuff like that, Your Honor, because he just don't make me feel like I belong there. And that might sound harsh, but I still do it.
This is a tough question, because you got a ring on your hand.
Yes, ma'am.
But you came here to court because you said that your fiancé of 2 years was a liar and a cheater, and you didn't find him emotionally available.
Yes, ma'am.
But you still want to marry him.
I do. I love him, but I have an attachment issue. I've been like that my whole life. And I'm not necessarily comfortable in the situation that we're in, but I'm comfortable with him, and I love him.
Mr. Davis, you lucked out and got a woman who wants to be with you, who wants to be submissive, who wants to be your wife.
I am lucky.
Because there's nothing that I've seen in court today that would make somebody like me feel that same way.
I understand.
I thought you would. I want to take care of my husband. I want to make sure that the family has everything that they need. But my husband wants to do the same thing for me. And he shows it to me every single day.
See, and I show her, but
Like
she
you
doesn't
stated
she doesn't
earlier,
see
just
it.
not in my love language. The way he shows love, I'm blind to, and the way I show love, I believe he's blind to.
So here's the deal. Mr. Davis has been saying that your trust issues are what's holding him back. And this mini investigator, that role that you play, accusing him of cheating and lying at every turn, does not make him feel positive in the relationship. You all need to at least find out what each other's love language is and start talking to each other in that language. Because that ring that sits on your finger means absolutely nothing if it does not represent the love that is between the two people.
I agree.
If you really want my advice, I think you need to spend less time worrying about being his wife and more time worrying about becoming the whole human being who is healed so that you can bring your full self to whatever relationship is going to make you happy.
Yes, ma'am.
Ashley Williams deserves sanity and health, mentally and physically.
I do.
I think that's where you should be focusing your attention.
Yes.
I agree with what she said. I think we do probably need to figure out what our love languages is and try to go from there.
So no matter how many red flags she saw, she still was determined to try to make this relationship work.
I think a lot of it had to do with her grief. You know, right after her grief, she got together with him, and I think she just wanted to be loved. She was comfortable, kind of, you know?
And finding a safe and secure place once you've had trauma, I know is attractive, but it's not healthy.
No, I mean, she has to work on herself.
I fear for her, but he's not going to be the one to help her through it.
No.